Welcome back to The Exchange. Housing affordability is front and center at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago after Vice President Harris made it a part of her economic platform. My next guest just wrote an op-ed on CNBC.com today about the issue and how a 40-year mortgage could make homeownership more accessible to more Americans. Joining me now is Hope Bryant, Chairman and CEO of Operation Hope and a CNBC contributor. John, it's good to see you again. We are coming back full circle to something we were kind of bantering back and forth about. And listen, some traders have talked about this idea, John Spallanzani and others, for years and years now. So it's not totally foreign to Wall Street that we could go in this direction. But tell me how this would work exactly.
Well, first of all, it was inspired by you, Kelly. I mean, we had this conversation about the state of America and the need for more inclusion in the economy. Last week, I believe. And as my mentor, Ambassador Young, would say, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. So there's two ways to make money. Make more or you spend less. And right now you have stagnant wages. The Federal Reserve had to raise interest rates in response to COVID with all the liquidity poured in the market from the government to keep the economy from shutting down in 2020. You had interest rates basically at zero since the last crisis, 2008, to keep the markets from seizing up and to keep the economy moving. Home prices have gone up, along with other assets because of that, and because we have a good economy in the U.S. But the middle class has not kept growing, and if you're in the working class, forget about it. And so what's the number one way you build wealth in America? Home ownership. But if you don't see that as an opportunity for you, you start to resent successful people. And now we have people even saying, I hate rich people. No, you don't. You hate rich people until you become rich. What you hate is a game system, a system that doesn't look like you can succeed no matter how hard you work. This restores a lot of that confidence in free enterprise. Could restore a lot of confidence along with other things that are proposed in the free enterprise system, inclusive capitalism, so that everybody gets a shot at opportunity.
You know, it's interesting. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead. I was just going to say that the 30-year mortgage has been fixed for a long time, even as home prices have risen substantially. So in here you say, I propose a bold new approach, a 40-year mortgage using the Federal Home Loan Bank system as the framework, with federal subsidies for first-time home buyers who complete financial literacy training. I know it's been an issue you've been on for quite some time. And you say, look, with life expectancy now nearing 80 years, a 40-year term aligns better with modern realities. And what would you say to critics who say, well, people will just end up being more leveraged? Does that matter?
Leveraged. What billionaire didn't do it with good debt? What country that's got a leading GDP that didn't do it with good debt? There's good debt and there's bad debt. Bad debt's financing jewelry, financing your vacation, financing your car rental, financing shoes, right? I love cars. I love cars. But financing even automobiles, that's going to depreciate over time. This asset actually might appreciate. So good debt is tied to something that might actually go up in value. And, you said it, I was going to say it, you said it already. There was no magic of a 30-year mortgage. It was designed around affordability after the Great Depression. People lived to 60 years of age, 59 to be exact. So a 30-year mortgage is, just under half of that. Now people are living to 80 years plus. A 40-year mortgage. No, look, auto loans used to be 3 to 5 years, Kelly. Now they're 4 to 8 years? And people have okay, that's normal because of affordability issues. We're taking something that might be an appreciable asset, giving you hopefully a subsidized rate if you're a first-time home buyer in what I'm proposing, and giving you the civil rights issue of this generation, financial literacy, so you know what you're doing, giving you a shot at over time, even riding out what might be a recession during that 40 years, right? Because over time, real estate always rebounds. If you look at the long arc of history, it's never gone down in the history of America. So I think it's a chance for all boats to rise. You're creating more stakeholders, more homeowners, more taxpayers. Hello. Nobody washes a rental car. So if you own something, you take better care of it. And again, it's aligning. It's like a software upgrade. You're just 100 years later almost. You're saying people are living longer. We have a more robust economy. Let's give them a longer period of time. You can write off most of the mortgage payments against your income, by the way, Kelly.
Right,
and
true.
get that money back if you're middle aged.
So here's what happens, and this kind of gets us back to what the vice president has proposed for stimulating or making housing more affordable anyway. Let's say, okay, they say, fine, 40-year mortgage. What if that just makes prices 10% more expensive, for instance? What if it just kind of nets out to the same kind of monthly mortgage payment because there's only kind of the same dollars going around in the system? And I don't know if you'd want to compare that with what you think the merits or demerits might be of what her proposals are for bringing down the housing or making it more affordable.
Once again, you're on point. But look, the thing we covered last week was supply. People were saying, okay, the government's looking for whatever levers they've got to make things more affordable for people. So they're like, well, let's do price restrictions or rent restrictions. I told you last week, I thought that the answer was more supply. What did the vice president come out and suggest? More supply. And it had nothing to do with me. I think it's just smart, common sense thinking. So she's talking about we need 4.5 million more homes in this country right now. That's going to drive up prices right now. If she has her way, if hopefully a bipartisan Congress would agree, you would increase 3 million inventory over a period of time, which will decrease the pressure on supply and demand, which will then decrease the abnormal increase in values of property and bring them down to something that's more normative. And then you add this to it, you supercharge the on-ramp into home ownership and wealth creation. It just seems to me that this is a perfect storm in the right direction. It almost rainbows after storm, really. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first.